Hey guys, this is Locke. I don't typically make equipment guides for this game, but there's been a lot of questions about this. Like I've seen it on Reddit, and then somebody asked it in one of my videos as well. So I thought I would talk a little bit about the gun that came out and what is the best weapon for Prompto. To be honest, that's actually the wrong question to ask because it's not what is the best weapon for Prompto, it's what's the best weapon for this particular scenario. That's how you should look at these guns because there is no best one size fits all kind of gun. Everything has slight differences, and everything's actually going to be better or worse depending on who you're fighting. Like, for example, this Ras Al Gheti has the highest attack value, right? It has 207 on the assault weapon, and all the other guns have a much less attack value than this one. So if you just want pure attack, the Ras Al Gheti is the weapon of choice. However, what if your opponent has a very high defense, right? Like if the opponent has 100 defense, the Ras Al Gheti is actually just going to do 1 damage to him, assuming that whoever you have this equipped on doesn't have any defense penetration. So then, in that case, the Ras Al Gheti is not going to help at all. So instead, you would actually want the new weapon that just came out, which is the Valiant. Because I mean, regardless of the attack value is 152, but you have increased defense penetration by 20 for self. So this weapon will now do more damage simply because you can penetrate 20% of the defense, and the enemy has 100 defense. So now you're at least doing 20% of your regular damage, whereas with the Ras Al Gheti, you are actually just doing 1 damage, right? So all the weapons are really scenario based, and that's really why I don't typically make equipment guides anyway, because I'm like, well, I can't tell you which is the best one because it depends what you're fighting. If you're fighting a raid boss, or if you're fighting like a tower content, and enemies have like very high defense and very high missile resistance or something, then yeah, for sure you want to bring the Valiant, and you actually would probably want to bring the diamond coat as well to increase your missile resistance, right? So that's what you would want to bring. But if the enemy has um, zero defense, then the best weapon to bring would probably be between Ras Al Gheti and Lara's dual pistols. Just straight up attack, and on an enemy, sorry, on a unit that doesn't have high crit, you'd probably just want to bring the Ras Al Gheti because it has both the highest attack value because it has 207 attack, and it also increases missile attack by 15. Whereas the uh, Lara's dual pistols, it only has an attack value of 180 and instead increases critical damage by 20. So if you have very high critical damage, then possibly Lara's pistols might be better. But you know, again, so it depends on who you're putting this on. Are they going to crit often? Are they not going to crit? If they don't crit often, if they crit very rarely, then the Ras Al Ghati is better, right? If they crit quite often, then this one might be better. And also, this also increases critical rate by 15 as well, which is also not to be underestimated because, especially now when you're talking about like raids or something, sometimes you might need to do normal attacks to build up more AP, and a critical hit builds up AP faster, right? Um, so there again, I'm just like repeating myself at this point, but there isn't a one size fits all. You can't just be like, well, this is the best weapon for Prompto. It's this is the best weapon for Prompto in this situation. Like you're fighting against this enemy, this is what you should use. But there is one thing that I want to say about the Valiant that I think is quite good. Actually, no, never mind. I thought the Valiant didn't have an agility penalty, but it does. All these guns have -3 agility, so never mind. I was like, oh, you can use this gun depending on if you want to agility tune or not, but that's irrelevant. All these them have -3. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Now, sometimes you get asked a question of do you want to go assault or critical? It's really your preference. 16 crit is okay, I guess. Personally, I always go with the assault version. The only reason I might consider a critical or something is if it has a very high magic value as well and slightly lower attack or something like that. That might be when I might consider a critical. But right now, I just go with assault because I like the highest attack possible, and I usually get critical from somewhere else. Like I might get it from bells or something, or some other piece of equipment that probably gives me high critical anyway. And secondly, I also don't really rely on crits. Like it's nice, if I get a crit, it's nice. But like when I'm playing Titus, for example, I almost always expect a crit, and I put that into my damage calculation, and I don't crit, and I lose the game because I missed a crit that I thought I would get. So I prefer not to rely on crit anyway. So that's why I typically always prefer the assault. Um, but that's it's up to you. Like if you're running like if you're running something where it's like a crit build, then yeah, you should go for the crit. And also, crit weapons are usually easier to max out than assault as well, so that could also factor into your decision making. Like maybe you just don't want to be bothered making an assault version because you will not hit the max. And also, just look at all the other equipment you have as well. Maybe you always want to have bells on someone else, and you don't think that you'll get crit anywhere else, then sure, give this person some more crit. But again, my personal preference is to uh, go with the assault because I just like a higher attack value. Um, so what do I think about this weapon? Like I've just been saying everything is situational. So for me personally, there are several gunners that I would use. Like I like Frederica. I use her a lot. Probably use Prompto, not as much as Frederica, but I probably have him at 99 for a while, and it'll be a while before he gets to 120 probably. So, but I still do expect to use him. And then Lucia, once her EX hits as well, she got some nice upgrades, so I'll probably use her as well. So between all these characters, I would probably want to have at least two of these guns, because um, there are limited means. Like especially for Frederica, she has one skill that can increase her own defense penetration, but it's not on a passive. Like she has to use it first, right? And this only goes up to 40. So if I'm fighting an enemy, like especially in PVE scenarios where they have 60% defense or something crazy like that, and that happens in stuff like towers or very hard one-off PVE challenges, that kind of stuff happens. And I don't want to be unprepared. So I would probably make two of these guns. I don't think I would put like three gunners in the same team, but I could see myself putting two gunners in one team. So I would want to bring this gun to have as an option when I'm fighting those kind of enemies. So since all of this is situational, you kind of want to have access to all of them. So if you don't have the books right now to build two of these guns, and I don't, so I'm going to buy. Well, I'm going to farm enough recipes to make two, or maybe even three at some point way down the line. But I'm going to be farming a lot of these recipes, and I'm going to most likely be using the Ras Al Ghati for a while until there comes a content where it's like, well, this person or this monster or this whatever has a very high defense and I need to be fighting it. So at that point, I will build the Valiant. I'll probably build the Assault Valiant, and I'll use it at that point. Um, but I mean, if you have the books, there's no harm in building it right now either. But for me personally, that's my style. Like I farm the books of everything, and when there's content that I need to be using this particular weapon, that's when I craft it, because I don't farm for books. Like I know a lot of people like spend all their energy every day farming for books, like all day all night. I don't typically do that. So because of that, books are kind of scarce for me, and so I just buy the recipes, or I don't buy it. I farm the recipes, and when there comes a time to use it, that's when I craft the weapon. I hope that helped. It might not be the answer you're looking for. Like maybe you just want to be like, I just want to craft this weapon, and then I never want to think about what weapon to put on him again. I mean, if that's the case, then make a decision. What do you want? Do you think defense penetration is more important than extra attack? Um, I guess if you're looking for like a one size fits all, and I don't want to ever think about it again, I would probably value 20% defense penetration more than plus 15 missile attack. Um, so if that's what you are really looking for, you're just like, I just want a weapon and I don't want to think about it again, then okay, fine, go for the Valiant, because I feel like many enemies have higher defenses these days. So go for it. But the real answer is it depends on the content. It depends on what you're fighting against. That's what you should be equipping. I hope this guide helped a little bit. If you guys have other questions or comments about this, let me know, and I will do my best to help you guys out. So take care, guys. I hope to see you on the next one.